I was born and raised in Cambria County, the oldest of 3 boys, to parents who are still married to each other today, 46 years they've been married. My parents gave us great upbringing. My dad was a middle-income, blue-collar guy. My mother was a stay-at-home mother. We had everything we needed and most things we wanted. Addiction wasn't something that we really talked about.
My family pretty much, you know, like they tried a couple of times. The first time it was like, okay, we'll get you help and then you'll be better. Like they didn't understand like the struggle I was going through inside my head, because that's really like it like took control. And they're like, as we call normies, so they don't really know what it's like, but you just can't stop. And that's what my family wanted me to do. They thought if I went to rehab, I was cured and I was never gonna do anything crazy again.
And he simply said, I need to share some information with you about Jacob. I know he's using heroin. Well, I was distraught. I thought, there is no way. This young man is a bodybuilder. He's a nutrition buff. We'd go to the grocery store together and he would say, oh gosh, don't eat that, Mom. You know, that's no good for you. I couldn't believe that he would put a substance like heroin into his body.
Brother Todd spiraled deeper into his addiction, and we knew he was in a bad spot. But we thought he would pull out of this. Unfortunately, he never did. In 2005, Todd died at age 28 of a heroin overdose, left behind a 6-year-old daughter at the time. We were shocked. But when it happened to us again, a second time, the best word I can use to describe our family is dismantled. This time it was my 25-year-old brother, Josh, dying of a heroin overdose. He died on September 14, 2007. His son was born November 14, 2007. So, with my brother's deaths, I was the last man standing, so to speak, the last living child of my parents, which made it all the more difficult for me to tell them in 2011 that I was entering inpatient drug treatment for an addiction to prescription pain medication, primarily OxyContin.
Like I started out just having fun, really, with I thought so, like pain pills and everything. And then it turned into pain pills were getting expensive and heroin was way cheaper. And you could get a lot more for just a little bit of money. So that's when I turned to heroin.
During those days, my life was full of fear, anxiety, physical sickness, mental sickness, hopelessness.
I became devastated with not knowing who to turn to, feeling absolutely lost, feeling embarrassed.
And then all the times I was getting locked up, they just got tired of it, so they started loving me from a distance. They kicked me out, I had nowhere to go, so I started staying with friends at trap houses, and it just spiraled down from there. And I actually didn't have anybody.
And on Friday, he cashed that check, went and bought heroin and used and passed away. The roller coaster ride that I was on for almost 10 years crashed. Your whole life changes. The life that you brought into the world that's now gone makes you a completely different person. And I can remember feeling worthless, feeling as if I had failed as a mother, feeling as if people all around me were judging me because I hadn't done a good job.
Obviously, unfortunately, my path has been much different than my brother's. And today I identify as a person in long-term recovery from the disease of addiction, which for me means I've not had a drink or drug, mood or mind-altering substance in 6 years. And the difference between 6 years ago and today for me is night and day, 180 degrees.
So I have a little over 2 years clean now, and the things I have today was like stuff I only dreamed about when I was in a jail cell. You know, like, it's just, like the stuff I have, I dreamed about, and I never thought in the world, in the whole world, I could have this stuff. Like, I went and got my GED. I have my own place. I have a bank account, which I never had before, because I never had money to put into it. I pay my bills today, and I have a good job now. Like, I get to work with people and try to help them.
Tonight we've gathered for hope in the lives of people in this community that are struggling. We need your help. We need to band together as a community to focus on recovery. There are people out there that need to know that it's okay to reach out for help.
It has to include a great focus on prevention. We want to stop people before they get to the point where we have to use naloxone, and we have to talk about how can we create processes whereby we can effectively get people into treatment, and how can we keep them engaged in treatment. If we can shortcut this, we'll be doing ourselves a world of good. And so right now, in the midst of the worst ever overdose death epidemic that this state or nation has ever seen, we are hyper-focused on saving lives, but really the long game here has to be prevention. I really want to thank everyone who came tonight, because we need resources, not only financial resources, but we need human resources. You often hear the phrase, it takes a village. There's no question that if we are to begin to turn this tide of rising overdose deaths, we need a village. We need the community. We need your understanding. We need your empathy. We need your compassion. And we need your support. And so by being here tonight, you've already started to demonstrate that you are part of this fight and that you are willing to be part of the solution. And so I want to thank you for being here tonight.
Hey guys, I'm an example of this, and people really need help out there, so if anybody could help, that would be amazing. Just show that, we could do this.